Today we're looking at four more Casio watches that I have added to my list to consider to buy in the future. This is in addition to the seven I looked at last time. Please do like and subscribe so we can grow the channel and so I can do more reviews and buy more watches. If you have any additional suggestions, please do let me know in the comments so I can add it to my list. So in the last video, I picked the AQ800, which had a real analog dial on top of the watch and a digital display time on the bottom. This is a kind of an evolution or maybe a digital representation of that idea. You can see that there's a analog dial on the upper left with hour, minutes, and seconds all in a digital display. The upper right has a pie display and 10 slices, and it can either indicate 1 second in regular timing mode or 1/10 of a second in stopwatch mode. And in the middle right of the display, not only does that normally say the day of the week, the month, and the date, but it also actually, this watch has world time. It doesn't say that anywhere, but it also has world time. And so the three letters become city codes, and then you can do world time on this watch as well. So and this watch has just got a lot of stuff packed in it. You got two digital areas, you got two analog displays, you got world time, and it comes in black, white, or gray colors. So a lot of functions, and actually I really like the design for all under $30. Next up is a more simpler Casio, the DW290, made famous by Tom Cruise from the first Mission Impossible reboot film from 1996. It very much looks like a G-Shock, but it's not actually a G-Shock, even though it has very rugged look and construction. It has a pretty unique hexagonal shape, and it's actually quite large at 51 millimeters tall, 47 millimeters wide, and over 14 millimeters thick. This watch does what it does very well: timekeeping, alarm, countdown, and a stopwatch. And you can additionally configure it to flash the backlight as a part of the alarm function, which is very useful for the stated 200-meter water resistant underwater use, since the sound alarm may not be loud enough if you are underwater. So it'll flash the display in addition to sounding the alarm. So that's very cool. This is the W800HM. At first glance, it looks like a very no frills basic Casio watch, and it is. But you look at it a little bit more carefully, it's actually quite interesting in its own way. The most obvious is the actual information density this watch display presents you. There's a lot of numbers and letters on the display, much more than a regular Casio, and it's, especially since it's a very basic $30 watch. On the upper left, you get three letters for your day of the week, as opposed to usually it's two. It makes it much easier when you look for the day of the week just at a glance. And unlike other watch alarms, this alarm can be set for a monthly time instead of just the usual daily. So you can set it every month, 15th of the month at a certain time, and it can alarm. So that's a pretty interesting feature I don't think is in a lot of other Casio watches, especially at this price point. It has a snooze alarm function, means it'll alarm every 5 minutes in 5-minute intervals until you turn it off. So very useful if you're a heavy sleeper. And on the bottom third of the display, which is you very rarely see in the watches, is a full 4-digit year indicator. On here it says 2019, but so usually it's just the last two numbers. This gives you the full 4-digit year, and has also the full month and date. So at a glance, you have full time, 3-letter day of the week, 4-digit year, and then the month and date. So it's a really cool watch. It has the illuminator thing. It's 100 meter water resistant, and a 10-year battery. So you want a watch where you just get all your time, day, date information in one glance. This is a very cool watch and maybe worth considering. And lastly, now I think we have arrived at what I think the coolest watch here is the all-steel 1970s retro watch that is slated to be released this month in August of 2023. Unfortunately, it's not available to buy yet, but I mean, just look at it. The A1100 series is a remake of the well-known 1970s Casio, the 52QS14B. That's a mouthful. And unlike the other front button Casio has released earlier, this is all metal. The case, the button, and the bracelet all in stainless steel. The button function inscriptions, if you see like the reset and light and mode and all that stuff, is actually engraved or etched into the case itself, which is pretty cool. It's not just printed on. The bottom buttons have an outer ring, so you can instantly feel it in the dark, so all 4 buttons don't feel the same. The face of the watch is polished, so it gives a textured feel, while the rest of the case has a more polished look. The retro display is pretty bare bones, pretty thin. It just has the time, AM, PM, and the alarm and hourly signal. It does actually have month, date, and day of the week, but you need to push a button to see it. It's not on the display normally. You have to push a button to see it. So if you see the lower right button, if you push that lower right button, the hour will turn into the month. The minute segment will turn into date of the month, and then the seconds will turn into a 2-letter display indicating the day of the week. The bracelet also looks very cool. It is a 7-link configuration with 2 thicker links on the outside and 5 thinner interlocking links in the middle. In addition to the stainless steel version, there's also 2 ion-plated version, a black ion-plated version, the A1100B-1, with a very cool green backlight, and a gold ion-plated version, the A1100G5, not the G1, the G5. I don't know why they changed the number, and they both come in at a $50 premium over the stainless steel version, which is $135, and the 2 ion-plated version are $185. So all of the 11 Casios that I've looked at on and trying to figure out which one to buy next, this is by far the most tempting one for sure. And so once again, thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe so we can grow the channel and I can do more of these reviews. Do comment if you have any additional watches I might have missed or you think should be at the top of my list instead of the A1100, so I can add it to my list as well. Thanks for watching.